having each and every one of you. I said good evening because in Nigeria, where I am currently, this is evening. This is 8:05 p.m. Somewhere, so it could be afternoon in your country, it could be morning or whatever time it is. So good day, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about your financial freedom and how you can grow your wealth and become financially free right from your home. Why am I gonna be teaching that? Because like I shared to those of you who are on my group, I shared to those of you who are on my forum, I told you guys that people can teach what they read. You can teach what you read, but you can only impact what you have known. And what you have known is what you do. Now, whatever you claim to know that we can't see in your lifestyle, you have not known it. So tonight is just going to be an impact of this knowledge of how you can become free from your living room. Because right now I'm seated in my parlor. I don't know why my webcam is not turning up. I'm trying to turn up my webcam, but it's not turning up. But anyways, you can hear me. That's the most important thing. I'm going to be sharing my screen with us now so we can get straight to business. Actually, this was a previous, this was a slide I used in December last year. I was trying to do some a quick editing on it, so I couldn't finish up the editing, but we're just gonna use it. I did try to still blend one or two things on it. So it was so this is basically a digital asset trading and investment masterclass. And here what I wrote, which I posted in December last year, you can become a seven-figure earner with digital assets within 3 or 6 months. But at the same time, today's topic is basically on financial freedom. So I'm going to be talking about financial freedom to us today. And those of you who are just joining in and those of you joining from my group, there's some persons complaining they can't hear, so just reply them on if you can hear me clearly, you join from my group, reply them on the group of how they could unmute their mics, please, so I won't be able to just go to that. Now, there's a powerful quote on my screen. I believe you guys could.
Wait, check your mic. I don't know, maybe you are too close or you are too far or something. It sounds good.
How's it sounding?
Okay, a bit better.
Okay. All right. So there's a powerful message on my screen by Robert Kiyosaki. Why did I use Robert Kiyosaki? Because he has been one of the greatest inspirations of my life when it comes to financial freedom. When I decided I want to be financially free, I started reading books on finances, books on prosperity, books on breakthrough, books on financial release, books on whatever has to do with success. One of the early books I read is Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read the Cash Flow Quadrant. I read What the Rich invest in that the poor and middle class do not. I read virtually all the series of Robert Kiyosaki, and a lot of leaders here have recommended his books as well. So I advise you go read his book. And there's one thing he said, financial freedom is available to those who learn about it and work for it. And what I'm about to do for us today is that I'm going to be showing you what financial freedom is and how you can work towards it. And guess what? If you are available tonight to learn about it and work for it, it's actually going to be a reality in your life within the next coming months, and you're going to make 2020 become the best year ever, better than the previous years you have had. Now, what is financial freedom? Now, financial freedom means various things to various persons. But the question I'm putting to you is, what is financial freedom to you? What does financial freedom mean to you? What does it mean to you? Now, first of all, financial freedom refers to for those who are working, for those who have a job. Now, it's like a question: if your job is taken from you, if your payment is taken from you, your salary is taken from you, will you be able to maintain that kind of life you are living? Now, how well you are going to be able to maintain a high standard of living without having to depend on any payroll, on any salary, on any form of another person's money, that is going to be what financial freedom is. How well you're going to be able to maintain it, high standard of living without having to depend on anybody's money, having to depend on any form of payroll or working or salary or wages, that is financial freedom. That is financial freedom. Now, but when you ask me, when you ask me what is financial freedom, to me, I believe financial freedom is having to live a life whereby you are no longer going to be worrying about money or having money problems, whereby you're going to be able to have all the time in the world to live your best life without worrying about the money that that life needs. Why do I say so? Because when comfort is expensive, but you have to work to the point whereby expensive becomes cheap. So comfort becomes a lifestyle. Living a comfortable life in the world we are in is expensive, but you work towards financial freedom to make comfort become cheap for you, and therefore financial freedom becomes a lifestyle for you, and comfort becomes a daily routine for you. But statistics shows that 67%. So this means that financial freedom is not just about the money. It's not just about the money, but the money is like the fulcrum of financial freedom. Now, statistics shows that 67% of the wealthiest people in the world do not choose to become wealthy, not because they actually love money or they just need money or like money, but they choose to become wealthy because they want to have to live a life whereby they will no longer need to worry about money any longer. Now, the sweetest thing about this and the amazing thing about this is that from your house where you are joining and streaming on this Zoom right now, I can show you a roadmap that if you follow the same roadmap within now and the next 1 year, there's a high possibility, and within the next 6 months, there's a high possibility that you can become financially free. Why did I say 1 year or 6 months? Because you are being to learn from what we call mentorship. You're being privileged to learn from knowledge. And what does mentorship do for you? Mentorship is wisdom without pain, because every wisdom has pain embedded in it. And what is the pain embedded in it? It's the pain of experience. Most people have to go through experience and go through that pain of experience to learn and to receive wisdom. But guess what? When you have knowledge from someone who has gone through that process, it shortens the time for you. Now, it took me a couple of years to be able to get to the point I'm in right now, and I'm still striving to become better and to get better to be able to achieve the level whereby we have a couple of our leaders on that level right now. We have our mama, our leader, who just introduced me right now on this call, and we have a lot of them doing so well. We have Andres Bez and a couple of them who have been taking Zooms, doing so well. Now, it took a couple of years for them to get to where they are. It took a couple of years for me to get to where I am, but when you receive the right knowledge and the right mentorship, it shortens the time frame for you. So that's why I said 6 months to a year. Now, let's take a look at Kiyosaki, what Kiyosaki says. Now, financial freedom, there's a formula to financial freedom, and there's a formula to prosperity, and there's a formula to poverty. Poverty is possible, is in between your 2 ears, and prosperity is possible, is in between your 2 ears as well. But there's a formula that I've used. It's a mathematical formula, and it has been so interesting because since I started applying this formula to myself and to my life has received a turnaround. Now, let's look at what Kiyosaki says. It says the key to financial freedom and great wealth is a person's ability of skill to convert earned income into passive income and or portfolio income. I'm going to be explaining this. The key to financial freedom and great wealth is a person's ability or skill to convert earned income into passive income and portfolio income. Now, in other words, which he also stated in his books, is what is the mathematical formula for financial freedom? When a person has more assets than liabilities in his or her life, that person will naturally gravitate towards financial freedom. When a person has more liabilities than assets in his life, that person will naturally gravitate towards poverty and lack. Now, there are some people who have more months at the end of the money, and some people who have more money at the end of the month. What is the difference between the two categories of people? The difference between the two categories of people is one have more assets than liabilities, and the other have more liabilities than assets. So when we're talking about the skill to combat earned income, the passive income, and portfolio income, it has to do with how much assets you have and how much liabilities you have. Now, what are assets? Asset is simply whatever puts money into your hand, whatever puts money into your pocket, that is an asset. And what are liabilities? Liabilities is whatever takes money from you. Now, your phone, your mobile phone can be an asset and it also could be a liability. Some persons that use their phone only to chat, they use their phone only to play music, they use their phone only to spend data on social media and download a lot of funny stuff. They waste time online, waste time on social media. Therefore, their phone and their laptop is a liability to them. Now, a couple of days ago, Sophia did a Zoom and she explained to us certain strategies she used on building her business and marketing online. Guess what? She's teaching us a skill, and that's a skill that most people pay to learn. And what is this? What skill is she teaching you? She's teaching us how you can turn your mobile phones and how you can turn your laptop to an asset, leveraging the internet. So it becomes an asset because it starts bringing money to you. So your house actually can become it can be a liability and it can also be an asset. So a house whereby you're always spending money on that house is a liability because it takes money away from you. But when a house is an asset, it's a house that brings money to you. It brings money to you. So you buy a house and you rent it out, you make money. You buy stuff and you rent it out, you make money. That means that's the skill of converting any income into passive income and also portfolio income. So take a sense of your life right now. How many things are bringing money into your hands and how many things are taking money from your hands? If what is taking money from your hand is more than what is bringing money to your hands, sister, brother, this is not a prayer point. You are actually going to be poor. If what is taking money from your hands is more than what is bringing money to your hands, you will definitely be poor. There is no spiritual whatever behind it. This is basically a law that has been placed in nature and in motion. But when what is bringing money into your hands is more than what is taking money from you, you are actually going to be ending up rich. So when I started thinking of that, I started thinking of, oh, how am I going to make my money? How am I going to create money? How can I have much assets? How can I have money? So I started thinking of that way. But guess what? I want to show something. We are in an era. So I named this physical or digital assets because if we are talking about becoming financially free from your house, that means, being able to create multiple streams of income right in your living room while you are in your house. You can create multiple streams of income paying you. Right now, when I got into 2020, I said to myself that in 2020, I'm going to create 20 different income streams for myself. So there will be 20 different things bringing money into my hands at the same time. And I'm showing us where I started leveraging this on and how I started getting involved with this opportunity, which I'm sharing with us right now. With this knowledge I'm sharing with us right now. And yes, so this is just February, and I have 10 already. I have 10 already bringing income streams into my hands. 10 already, and this is just February. And the year hasn't even gone to April. The first quarter is not already done. So probably by April, I should have the 20 already. So guess what? Financial freedom from my living room, from my home, from my house. And it's possible for every single person on this call who has not been able to achieve that. It's possible if you're ready to learn. It's possible if you're ready to understand. It's possible if you're ready to grow with what I am saying, with what I am teaching. Now, what era? Now, where you say physical or digital assets, physical or digital. Why did I say it this way? Because before now we had a sorry guys, let me go back. Okay. Before now we had the former previous factors of production, which used to be land, labor, capital. These are the former factors of production, and most forms of assets, what we think of is basically physical assets like landed properties, like buying certain things and selling it off, and getting all those physical products. And so those are amazing. Those are good. Getting involved in the real estate is amazing. It's also good. But in the era we are in, So how many persons right now, if I'm going to ask, and everybody's going to answer, if I'm going to ask this question, how many persons is actually going to be able to afford buying a house right now, or buying a land and building it up and start renting it out? Not everybody is able to afford that physical asset. But guess what? Because of the era we are in right now, people can leverage on what we call digital assets. And one thing I want you to know is that 2020 just began a new decade, and we are in a new decade, and this is a decade of what we call borderlessness. This is a decade of borderlessness. That means this is a decade whereby people who think more of borderlessness and how they can reach out the world are going to be in the epium and the opium of their industries. These are people who are going to be high flyers in the industries where they find their strength. And this is an era of limitlessness. This is an era whereby anything is possible. Anything is possible. And I tell people that within now and 2030, you will no longer be hearing anything as first world countries. You will no longer be anything as second world countries. You will no longer be anything like third world nations any longer. What you're going to be hearing 10 years from now, it might even be earlier, is smart nations. Smarter nations and smarter nations. That's going to be the classification of countries and nations and the economies of the world. It's going to be it's categorized in smartness. That's how it's going to be. And we have crazy technologies being evolving every single day. We have major things happening every single day. And this is a time whereby, I read a lot of posts, like I see certain things that people say online that money is not made from nothing. Anybody who tells you if money is made from nothing is likely wants to scam you. Believe me, that is rubbish. That is a rubbish statement. Now, or if you have the understanding, I call it the law of nothingness. The law of nothingness states that those who rule the world in the era we are in are those who choose to believe that something can come out of nothing. And those who choose to believe that millions can be made out of nothing. And it's so funny that whatever we're experiencing right now, whatever we're experiencing in the world of cryptocurrencies and digital assets, and this is a world whereby, and this is an era whereby we are having currencies and coins that are coming out of nothing. Tell me, where did Bitcoin come out of? Where did Ethereum come out of? These are visibly coming out of nothing. And the earlier you start having that mindset, the better you are going to be able to believe the possibility. Because, like I said earlier, the mentality of a man forms reality. We need to understand there are certain ideologies that have kept us bound over time, over years. Ideologies that have affected our mindset and have limited the scope of our accomplishment, have limited the scope of our realities in life. And one of those ideologies that we were taught when we were growing up is that if something is too good to be true, it is not true. Number two, we're taught that if that money does not go on trees or go on trees. Number three, we are taught that patient dog is the fattest bone. You see the three things we are taught, all these are rubbish. All this has kept us bound and kept us limited. I don't believe in those ideologies. Those ideologies are what kept our parents where they are today. And if you want to be better than your parents, if you want to do better in this decade, you have to throw away all these ideologies in the dustbin. Number one, I've seen so many things that sound too good to be true that ended up true. And why? Because that is the era we are in. We are in the era of what we call the era of the unbelievable. Number two, right now, money doesn't even just grow on trees. Money grows everywhere. Money is just around you. Money can be likened to a radio frequency. Now, wherever we are right now, there's a radio frequency of your country in that area. But if you do not have a radio, number one, and the radio to connect to the frequency, and number two, and switch the radio to 92.7 or 93.7, you will not be able to catch the signals and the message in that frequency. But at that point in time, that frequency is around you. So like those of you who are in Nigeria, wherever you are right now, there is 92.7, there's 93.6, there's Wazobia there, but you are not hearing anything. Although Wazobia is around you, you are not hearing anything. Why? Because you don't have a radio there. And number two, you are not, even if you have the radio, you have not switched the radio to the frequency to hear the channel. The same way, money is like radio frequency right now. It is everywhere around you. Right here in your living room, money flows in the air. What you need right now is getting across to the right person, which will be the radio, and which will show you the right knowledge. Get across to the right person, that gives you impact the right knowledge. Now the frequency has to do with the knowledge. The tuning the radio is the knowledge. So what I'm doing right now is like, this is a radio station. This is a radio right now. This Zoom is a radio, and I'm switching. I'm switching. Why? What am I doing? I'm giving a knowledge that could impact you and could transform you. And when if you're connected to the right person with the right opportunities at the right time, you're going to make so much money. And guess what? This is an era of what I call speed wealth. It's an era whereby you can make so much money fast. It's not an era whereby you need 10 years or 20 years before you can become a millionaire. You can become a millionaire this same year, 2020, if you leverage on what I'm sharing with you today. Now, so we are in the era of digital assets. So then what are digital assets? Now, if assets is whatever puts money into your hand, then digital assets means whatever online or digital thing that could bring money into your hand continually. So that's a digital asset. So those who, if you can develop an ebook, that's a digital asset. An ebook, and you sell those copies online, that's a digital asset. I have books online. So if you created a course and you're selling a course online, that's a digital asset. All those are digital assets. But I'm not going to be talking about creating ebooks, selling courses, or selling trainings, or selling videos online. I'm not going to do about that. I'm going to share you a spectacular aspect that can make you so much money than any of all that. Why? Because you don't have to go to the steps of all of major marketing with this particular method. And what aspect of digital asset am I showing? This is the aspect of what we call digital currencies. Digital currencies. So what are digital currencies? Digital currencies is basically cryptocurrencies. What is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency, simply put, is digital money. The word crypto was taken from the word encryption. So when you hear the word encryption, it means security. So cryptocurrency, and the word currency refers to money. So we could refer to cryptocurrency. I could define cryptocurrency as secured money or money designed cryptographically. And there are various features that make cryptocurrency special and unique than the normal form of cryptocurrency we know. And one of those features is what we call built-in scarcity. Built-in scarcity. Now, it is not like the normal fiat currency that if our countries get into debt, that they can decide to print more of these currencies, and these currencies are going to be in circulation. It is not like that. It isn't like that. It has what we call built-in scarcity. So there's a fixed supply. For example, the Bitcoin has 21 million pieces. Now, that's a fixed supply on Bitcoin. The total amount of Bitcoin in circulation right now is 18 million pieces. So we still have 3 million pieces yet to go into circulation. And guess what? It's going to take between now and 2140, the year 2140. That's, we are in 2020. We're going to take the year 2140. That's about 130 years from now, for the total number of Bitcoin to be mined into circulation. And guess what? What you're hearing right now, less than 1% of the world population has access to this knowledge and this information. So if we are 7.7 billion people in the whole world, and we are saying just 1% has access to this information, that means 1% is going to be about 70 million persons, if I'm not mistaken. Now, 70 million persons has knowledge about a cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin is just 21 million people, and just 18 million in circulation. Tell me how much crazy will this cryptocurrency go up high when we have a fixed supply? Number two, it is not controlled by the government, but self-interested communities. Yeah, the true power of money has been given to its owners. It has been given to people. That is the era we are in. So, and number three, we have what we call solid privacy protection, which is refers to the security behind cryptocurrency. It is a cheaper and faster method than traditional electronic transactions. So imagine sending some money from somebody in the US. You're in the US and you're sending money to somebody in Canada, and you're not making use of Western Union. You're not making use of any of the form of whatever money transfer method. You are making a transfer and a transaction of, let's say, $100,000. You're making a transaction of $100,000, and in less than 5 minutes, the person in Canada gets that $100,000, and you are not being charged up to $100 for that huge transaction. So this is like killing the bank sector dead and gone. And guess what? What is happening in cryptocurrency is breaking conventional financial barriers. It is breaking conventional financial barriers. And this is huge. This is crazy. You know, in Ghana, when we shared this and we had a meeting with a couple of bankers where we made them to understand why, because this is breaking conventional financial accounting, whatever barriers, and that's why experts all over the world have unanimously agreed that the next of multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires, they will no longer be coming from the space of oil and gas, they will no longer be coming from the space of agriculture, but they're going to be coming from the space of digital currencies, smart contracts, blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, augmented reality. That's the areas we are in, guys. Data science. That is the area. We are in the area of technological evolution. And those who are in the forefront of technology right now are actually going to be the ones that are going to rule the world within now and the next few years to come. Now, for you to understand this very well, you need to understand that this is actually money. And there have been three areas of money as Chris Dixon, a popular economist, categorize them is. The first area of money is the commodity-based area of money, where we have the barter, where we have the gold, and we have the coins. And the second area of money is the paper-based area of money, where we have paper certificates and we start having our fiat currencies, which we are making use of. But the third area of money is the mathematical-based area of money, where we start having debit card, credit card, we have the cashless policy, started doing online transfers, electronic money, and we started making use of cryptocurrencies and digital currencies. And what is this era? This is the era of when I say this is the era of borderlessness. This is the era when you say cashless policy. This is the era money is no longer what you can see, feel, or touch. Money is now in the air. Money is based on the figment of our imagination. Money is now a function of numbers. So if you're making a transfer from your account to another person's account, what happens is that when that money is transferred, you get debited and the person gets credited. But there is no physical person that takes that money from your account to that person's account. What happens? There's some people behind the scene that pushes in the numbers, that reduces your numbers and increases your numbers. So money has become just a function of numbers. There are people with their computers in banks, and when they sit down, they move the numbers. And guess what? That is why 60 to 65% of all the money in circulation is not real. It's only just numbers that the banks are showing to us. The earlier you understand this, the better you are awakening to real reality. So guys, say hello to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the first decentralized currency that came into existence, introduced into the world in 2009, immediately after the global financial economic crash of 2008. And Bitcoin can be sent between individuals anywhere in the world. Bitcoin can be traded anywhere in the world. So Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency that came into existence. After Bitcoin came many others. And Bitcoin is you just store it in your digital wallet, in your mobile device. You send it like an email. It can be used to purchase anything from thousands of merchants all over the world. And Bitcoin ensures financial freedom by giving financial power back to the people. Now, guess what, guys? Look at this analogy. This is crazy. Bitcoin was introduced in 2009 at 0.003 cents, with a total supply of only 21 million pieces. And by 2011, 3 years later, it rose to $1. 3 years later, it rose to $1. And guess what? By 2013, it crossed $100. And currently, Bitcoin is hovering around $10,000 or so. That is leaving us with over a 260,000% price value increase over the past 10 years. This has turned ordinary folks into multi-billionaires. These are tools that turn those who believe in the law of nothingness. Those who are crazy enough to believe that the world can change. Those who are crazy enough to believe in nothing. And guess what? The most crazy thing about this is that whenever I talked about the previous factors of production, which used to be land, labor, capital, in a space of meditation, I came up with the current factors of production. I believe that the previous factors of production, which used to be land, labor, capital, is not the same as it is now. The current factors of production in this era is what I call the 3 I's. What are the 3 I's? Ideas, information, and innovation. So the final position that for those who want to rule in the economical space in this era, and those who are leveraging the current position, which is what I call the 3 I's: ideas, information, and innovation. So somebody got an idea of producing something like a mainframe computer and made it a reality. What is it? He gathered information on that idea and he made it a reality. Somebody else went and gathered information on how he can innovate the mainframe computer and produce a desktop. And somebody went and innovated a desktop to a laptop. Somebody went to innovate it into an iPad, and somebody went to a phone. And guess what? Every single one of these guys are champions in their industry. They have moved beyond just prosperity into posterity, because both them and their generations unborn received money. So they have been able to create prosperity. This is what we call a long-lasting financial freedom for both them and their family. After Bitcoin came Ethereum. And the crazy thing about innovation is that whenever a technology comes, whenever an invention comes, the innovation of those cryptocurrencies are always better than the inventions. And guess what? After Bitcoin came Ethereum. Ethereum rose from $1 in August 2016 and got to $1,377 by January 2018. This is very 3 years difference. And guess what? The rise is even more than that of Bitcoin. In Bitcoin in 3 years, it rose about 10, 20,000%, but Ethereum was 137,000% in 3 years. And guess what about NEO? NEO in just 2 years, it rose 100%. Believe me, guys, there's no. I ask you a question: is there any financial instrument in the world out there that can give you such returns within such a short time frame? Now take a look at this. You're going to see the 2009 where Bitcoin was 0.003 USD. 2016 it got to $600 and $11,000. This 2020 is still hovering around $10,000 to $11,000. But if you can see on this part of the screen, you're going to see from number 5 to number 25. In 2017, when there was the bull run of the market, now many people hear about Bitcoin, many people talk about Bitcoin, and many people say Bitcoin millionaires, Bitcoin many people rich. But guess what? In 2017, altcoins made more people rich than Bitcoin. But because Bitcoin is the number one and Bitcoin is the forefront, most people know about Bitcoin. But people were made faster, millionaires and richer than altcoin. What do I say? When the knowledge is far widespread, the chances of succeeding in that field has become slim. So when Bitcoin has become so known and the price is very high, for you to actually succeed and become financially free in buying Bitcoins, you need a huge capital. Because if I ask you to buy 10 Bitcoins, you need about over $100,000. But guess what, guys? With just $10,000, that's the amount of money that is going to cost you one Bitcoin. You can invest that same coin in an altcoin and make 100 to 500 times whatever Bitcoin is going to give you. In 3 years, you make that in 1 year. And guess what, guys? Imagine Verge doing 323,000% in one single year. Nano did 135,000% in one single year. Neo did 80,000% in one single year. This is just 2017 analysis alone. And guess what? This happened after the Bitcoin halving. And there's a phenomenon that happens every 4 years that leads to a bull market trend. And guess what? That phenomenon happened before the bull run of 2017. And guess what, guys? In May 24th this year, 2020, that phenomenon is hitting the market again. And guess what is the phenomenon? The total incoming supply of Bitcoin is going to be halved and slashed in two. And guess what? If I tell you that the total incoming supply of gold in the world is going to be slashed within now and the next 3 months, what will you do? Will you decide to go and sell all your properties and your land to go and buy gold or not? Believe me, you will want to go and sell everything you have to go and buy gold, knowing fully well that if the total incoming supply of gold in the world gets cut by half, the price of gold is going to skyrocket over the market. And guess what? That is what is about to happen to Bitcoin. It happens only once every 4 years, and we see crazy huge returns in the market. And what we are seeing happening right now is just a play. Some people think the bull run is just starting. The bull run did not just start. The bull run started 4 months ago. The bull run for the currency market started 4 months ago. Another 4 months ago, when it seems as if the market was still crawling, that is when it started. And that's when people who had understanding of this market started leveraging themselves and positioning themselves to make so much money. And if you want to position yourself, you can. But when you're positioning yourself, I want you to understand that there are certain risks involved with this. Number one is the risk of volatility. Number two, there's the risk of saber fraud risk. And number three, there's the risk of the regulatory compliance risk. But there's a way to one go through this risk. Number one risk is volatility. You understand? Some people say, oh, cryptocurrency is so volatile. I don't want to invest in this. This is so volatile. It goes up, it comes down. But guess what, guys? The volatility of cryptocurrency is where the sweetness of cryptocurrency lies if you understand the tricks of the trade. And I'll show you how I've been able to understand the tricks of the trade and how I've been able to gain expertise in this industry and how you can gain the same thing and make so much money. One go to the volatility, because if you understand the volatility, that is where you enjoy this, because in the volatility is the profit and is the sweetness. Now the cyber fraud risk means that you need to understand that when you talk about cryptocurrency, this is a real thing. This is not just an online thing. This is the reality, and this is where the whole world is gravitating towards right now. Countries are currently adopting this, and this is what does that mean? It means that people who are going to be aiming against you, people are going to be aiming against your cryptocurrency. They're going to be aiming to see how they can steal and do. And that's why we had the issue that happened with IDAP. and either and run away with a lot of people's money. You need to know how to take caution. Take caution for your money. How you can secure your assets. It is very, very important. Be very security conscious. How you can be secure that we have a regulated compliance risk. This is no longer a problem again. This is no longer a problem because countries are currently adopting it. Right now, we have 6 African nations have come together to form their own cryptocurrency, and they are planning on launching that cryptocurrency between now and December in 2020. And these 6 countries are going to be using it. We have Ghana as a part of this country. We have Nigeria being a part of this country. We have Rwanda a part of this country, and also there are many other countries doing that at the same time. The ISB has released the report recently, and what does the report say? They released a report that 80% of the central banks in the whole world are currently studying about cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology to see how they can apply it to become a part of their own country so they can adopt it. But I have said all this. If you are following what I'm saying, there are 2 things that can make you so rich and become financially free when you start getting involved in creating assets. Because people are going to say, okay, how am I going to be able to start developing assets while I'm in my home? How am I going to be able to do that? How can I start creating this digital assets? How can I start making this money and having more digital assets that's going to be giving me money and I will have more money coming to me than more money that is going out of me? Guess what? There are 2 things that are going to be able to help you achieve it. Number 1 is opportunities. Number 2 is systems. You have to be able to see opportunities and catch opportunities tied around this system. And I'm going to be showing because what does system do? We have SYSTEM. System save you stress, time, energy, and money. Save you, SYSTEM, save you stress, time, energy, and money. So the system takes the stress, it saves you time, it gives your energy, and provides much money for you. So right in the comfort of your home, you are able to see an opportunity around the system that is going to be able to provide daily income for you, and then be able to provide more money for you, and it's going to be able to make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. Now, if I'm to go back to you're going to see the quote of Robert Kiyosaki talking about the key to financial freedom is being able to develop a skill of converting earned income into passive income or portfolio income. When we're talking about passive income and portfolio income, that's the category of what we call cash flow and cash gain. Passive income can also be likened to cash flow, and portfolio income can also be referred to as cash gain. Passive income can be referred to as cash flow, and portfolio income can be referred to as cash gain. Now, this is it. When you have a house that is being rented and people are living in that house and they are paying renters on a daily basis, that is a passive income. That's cash flow. Money is coming to your hands on a regular basis. Now, when you buy a property, you buy a landed property and you are waiting for years because the community around that is going to be developed and you're going to sell it you're going to make huge money, a huge gain. That's what they call cash gains. And that's what they call portfolio income. Buying a cryptocurrency and holding it is cash gains, and that's portfolio income. But when you're able to connect that to a system whereby while you are holding that cryptocurrency, you are still making so much money every single day, that is the greatest thing that can ever happen to anybody. It's a combination of cash gain and cash flow. It's a combination of combining passive income and portfolio income. And while you sleep, wake up, cheat, play, eat, you are making money. At peace, at rest. So while you are waiting, you are earning. While you are learning, you are earning. But guess what? For you to be able to see these opportunities, you need to understand vision. This is a slide that Sophia showed a couple of days ago, and I still want to show this. This is a vision of where Dubai was a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, this was just sand, and whatever we were seeing. But guess what? A man who I call my adopted uncle, no other person than Rashid bin Sultan Al Maktoum. This man is a visionary. This man is someone who has an understanding. This man was asked a question a couple of years ago. He was asked a question that said, what is the future of transportation and oil and gas going to be like? What is it going to be like within now and the next few years? He smiled and said to those answers, he said that if my great-grandfather rode on a horse, on a camel, and my grandfather rode on the same thing, and my father rode on a car, I am driving. a Mercedes Benz, a Lexus, a Lexus. My son is driving a Mercedes Benz. My grandson is going to drive the latest G Wagon. My great grandson is going to be driving the Bugatti, the Ferrari Veyron, the Lamborghinis, and the best car that is going to ever be in circulation. He said, my great great grandson is going to be on a camel. And when he said that, people were shocked. Why would they say that his great great grandson is going to be doing the same thing that his great great grandfather was doing? What he actually meant was that the future of the world is going to be moved beyond just oil and gas. And that's what we're seeing today. I was having electric cars, and people can actually, you can have a car where you charge it, and guess what? Oil and gas is being phased out right now. These are visionaries. Jack Ma said something. He said that we see now, and the next 10 years to the next 20 years, 800 million jobs will be ejected out of the system. Why? Because humans are going to be competing with robots. Are going to be competing with robots, robotics, artificial intelligence, and guess what is happening already? And we have someone who could be able to see a vision in this thing. He took three of his friends and asked them, what do they see? And they said they see a pile of sand, they see a pile of mud, they see a pile of dirt sand upon sand. And he said, I see a great nation. I see a great country. We have Dubai. Only the immigration arm of Dubai. Only the immigration arm of Dubai, the money that is being made from the immigration arm of Dubai for just 2019 alone, the gross income and profit of the immigration arm of Dubai for 2019 alone is the combination of 5 different states in my country, Nigeria. They budget for 5 different states combined together. And only a department in a country like a small country like Dubai makes that money. And guess what? It all began from this. So like I said, it's those who believe in the law of nothingness, that something can come out of nothing. Mohammed Rashid bin Sultan Ahmad Top is someone who has believed that same thing. And guess what, guys? I want to show you how your financial freedom can begin, because this year might begin. I've been involved trying to make so much money online for the past 10 years. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've lost so much. I've made so much money. I've lost so much money. Until I could be able to find a way to balance passive income and portfolio income. Then I knew that financial freedom is closer to me. And guess what? The first thing that happened was that I became debt free. The second thing that happened was that I started making solving any other problems I have. The third thing that happened was that I started building the life of dreams for my parents. I finished building all the needed for them. And guess what? The last thing that is happening right now is that I'm flying. And you could position yourself for that same thing. So this is Wealthys. So I know I can't hear you, but right where you're seated, you can just put your hands together and clap for Wealthys. Your financial freedom opportunity is what I want to show you. Wealthys. What is Wealthys all about? What is Wealthys? What does Wealthys do? Wealthys, we are the greatest cryptocurrency club in the world right now. We are in a community of over 300,000 members globally. We are covering across 6 different continents. And guess what? This is a community of like minds. That what we do is that we work with our expert leader and expert trader, Francis Del Silva, and our CEO as well. And what we work with them is they will work with this community of traders that are able to look across the top 20 cryptocurrencies on the current market cap, and they come up with and showing us the right cryptocurrency picks for each year, for each 7 to 8 months that we could possibly invest in and have portfolio income in them. That while they are yet to go up, we can have a duplicate amount of them. We can have passive income from them while they are yet to go up in value. And if they go up in value within the space of that 8 months or a year or 2 years, we are going to make crazy amounts of money. We are going to make so much money. And being a part of Access this Wealthys structure is just an average of about $25 every single month. And guess what? The structure of Wealthys is massive. The structure of cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different services. I'm going to explain the services for each and every one of us. Then this is the trade services. We have the minded coin trade, the direct plus trade and the Ethereum trade. I'm going to talk about this trade separately. But we have the Lotto bit. For those of you who like lottery, playing lottery, now you can make money from even playing lottery. And if you pick lucky numbers, that people winning $100, $500, $1,000 every single day, and people making so much money. I think I saw a post being done by Andres on social media and also on the group talking about winning the Mercedes Benz. So there are some people who are going to win the Mercedes Benz in the event that is going on right now. I don't know if it's in Los Angeles or so. Maybe our leader is going to talk about the event. There are people going to win a Mercedes Benz see only from Lotto bit. There are people winning these cars every single season and every single time whenever this comes up. We have the Stars Club. This for leadership and those who are involved in relationship marketing. Then we have the YourFew.cs. This is a match between cryptocurrencies and your ideal destination. So you can actually, as a member of WorldChief, a member of our club, we have been able to create a system whereby you can order flight tickets. You can book your flight online with cryptocurrency. From your cryptocurrency, you can book your flight online with cryptocurrency. It is crazy and it's amazing. I don't think any project out there has been able to do this. This is the first project that's been able to make it available for people. You can book your flight with cryptocurrency from your back office. The money you have there, you don't need to go and look for anything out there. From the back office, you could book. Then we have Fimzi. Fimzi is a partnership. It's just like Netflix or YouTube or DSTV kind of. Whereby it's an exclusive streaming service platform. You will have access to a variety of channels you could leverage on. But let's look at the main deal. The main ideal is the trading of the mined coin and Ethereum. Now, I promise sharing two cryptocurrencies. Now, the number one cryptocurrency that is going to make so much money and can give you 1,000% this year to next year is Mined coin. Mined coin is too low. You know, someone asked me early this January, and when we were seeing Mined coin was going so down, I was like, what possibilities is going to this cryptocurrency is going to go up? Why are you having so much faith? And I laughed and I said, the more it goes down, the more you should buy. Because we bought this thing when it was at 0.01. We bought it when it was at, I bought it at when it was at $1. This same Mined coin, I bought it when it was at 0.05. I bought it when it was 0.02. I bought it when it was 0.01. And even down to where it is right now, I am still buying. So when it got to 0.001, I packed millions of it. I packed millions of it. And I was still packing. And guess what? This same person that asked me that question, I sent the person a picture 4 days ago that this Mined coin have done 326% increase on the market. So it has jumped from 0.001 to 0.006 within a space of 2 weeks. And guess what? I told the person that it hasn't started yet. The person has seen nothing yet because this is not even our aim. This is not even our goal. Our goal is taking this thing to a sense between now and the next coming months. And guess what? This is the work of every single person. And this cryptocurrency is going to make so much money. I'm not going to tell you why it's going to make so much money. It is your choice because I don't care if you believe it or not. I'm going to make money out of it and I'm already making money out of it. It is your choice to leverage on it and to benefit from it. There are various packages out there. We have from the 50 million Mined coin down to the 10 million Mined coin package. 50,000 Mined coin, sorry, but I don't really talk about 50,000. I don't even talk about 100,000. I don't talk about 200,000. The minimum I talk with about is 300,000 to 10 million Mined coins. So there are people. So if you're working with 300,000 Mined coins to 10 million Mined coins, you're gonna make so much money. So I don't talk about this lower package. I talk about 300,000 Mined coins to 10 million Mined coins. Now, what happens when you buy? For example, you're buying, let's say, 10 million Mined coins. For example, 10 million Mined coins at the current price right now should be virtually let's say $7,000 or so, if I'm not mistaken. So let's say if it's $7,000, you're going to earn a duplicate of it, 1.2% of the total coins you earn every day. So you are having what they call passive income. Every day your coins are dropping for you. 1.2% of the total amount of coins you have, the dropping till the amount of coins gets duplicated. So if the price remains constant, you're earning a duplicate of your investment, 100% of your investment. But guess what? That is not even the deal. That is what they take. What if Mined coin does 1,000%? Now, $7,000 times 1,000%. That means you are going to be making $70,000 out of that. And what if it does 2,000%? You're going to be making double of that. Now, imagine your 10 million Mined coin giving you 20 million Mined coin, and you earning 1,000%. That means you're earning over $100,000 from an investment of just 7,000. It is going to happen. It is possible. You see that here. Watch between now, December next year. We're going to post screenshots of the price value increase of this Mined coin and how much that is being made on this Mined coin. And let me show you guys. Okay. Then the second cryptocurrency I have to talk about is the Ethereum. Ethereum is a massive cryptocurrency. Ethereum, we haven't seen anything yet in Ethereum. Ethereum is what we are seeing in Ethereum. Ethereum is just, I think, over about $260 now or so. When in December last year, I was telling people Ethereum is going to go high. Ethereum is around $160. I was telling people to buy. Some persons are like, oh, this index will buy later, they won't buy later. Right now, Ethereum is $260. I told them between December and March 2020, Ethereum is going to get to $500 for one. I said it to them. These are people on the Zoom calls. If you've been on the Zoom calls, I also say this at all the physical events. And guess what? $500 is not even the peak of Ethereum this year, because Ethereum 2.0 has not been launched. When Ethereum 2.0 is launched, Ethereum is going to hit $1,000 possibly, and maybe more, because at that time, demand is going to be crazy for it. And all we can do right now is position ourselves to Ethereum. Ethereum, you can make so much money out of Ethereum between now and the next 1 year to 2 years. So I'm just telling you a possibility of what can happen this year. But you can be aiming a year, 2, 3 years. But this year is going to be massive. For the cryptocurrency market, it's going to be massive. We're going to see outrageous gains from March, April, May. We're going to see outrageous gains in the market, but specifically from March, we're going to see outrageous gains. Mark what I'm saying. Save this Zoom call. When it starts happening, you remember it is not a prophecy. It is actually going to happen, because what I'm saying is actually going to happen. All I've said about this space, I carefully say from detailed reading, study, and analysis. The best thing that can happen, that has ever happened to you, if you are yet a member of Wealthy's Club, is being on this call right now to hear about Wealthy's and how you can position yourself with Wealthy's. Every single issue in Wealthy's is going to be taken care of. Every single issue is going to be taken care of. There will be no issue between now and the next few months. All you have to do is to believe in your future, believe in your tomorrow, and start investing in your future and your financial freedom now by taking with Ethereum. You can, the same thing that happens to miners is going to happen to Ethereum. We have from 1 Ethereum down to 500 Ethereum. As much as you can buy, Ethereum is going to make so much money. You also have Direct Plus. I don't really know much about Direct Plus, but I invested in it, and I think it's just like Direct Trade. But we've been having Zooms, and people have been talking about it and in the previous Zooms. So I think that should suffice. And anybody who has any question, me to Seba invited you on the call that will explain Direct Plus for you. I can't explain it very well. We have Lotto Beads, and I've already explained that. I've already explained this. I've already explained this. And well, welcome. This is a crypto club, like I explained. What we do is bringing people together to make reality out of their dreams. So I've basically shown you with Wealthy's how you can connect passive income with portfolio income and gain financial freedom. So what happens here? You know a coin that is 2 coins that can make you so much money. Instead of buying those coins and holding them and having risk of losing them, you buy and hold it as a member of this club with Wealthy's, and you will have a duplicate of that coin pending the price value increase. So pending the value increasing in the market, you are having a double-edged profit. And there's no better offer. There's no better thing you could have than now. So I started positioning myself with this. I started working myself with this. And I have maxed out every single account. I have more than 1 account running with this, and I have maxed out every single account. And guess what? You can start the same way. You can start somewhere and you can grow. So before I hand over, I just want to leave this with you, which you need to know and which you need to understand. The greatest regret people have in life is not because of the lies we were told and we discovered later that this person was saying was a lie, but because of the truth that we were told that we ignored, and later we discovered that that thing that was told to us was not a lie but a truth. What happens when we discover that? We receive a pain, and that's a pain of experience. That's a pain that is attached to our skin. It's a pain you can never forget. You live with it till you die. It's a pain that goes with you. It's a pain that becomes a story of lesson you start teaching others. Why not choose to enjoy the pleasure than take and suffer the pain? You can enjoy the pleasure by choosing to do and make a decision today that others will not make because they refuse to believe in the law of nothingness. Rather, you choose to believe in nothingness. So you believe that something can come out of nothing. Money is actually nothing, and you can make money out of nothing and anything. You choose to believe in that and put yourself in that same success line of stories and transgenerational wealth and abundance like many others are doing right now in the world today. If you choose to put yourself in that state, in that era, choose to start taking action, choose to move forward, choose to start practicalizing all I've said, choose to ask for the links, register immediately, take a package immediately, and see how the good turns out for you and you profit immensely towards your financial freedom. Thank you, guys. I hand over to our leader from here.